All right, so for this video, we're going to be talking about this concept. In the previous videos, we talked about like the side glide here, and there's almost like you imagine like if you're cracking your neck, not that you would want to do that. You want to imagine like this wheel turning. So that's where the things are going to slide over this way, at least underneath, and on top it's going the other direction. So they kind of cancel each other out. So there should be this kind of flow through the spine, through the body. And this is really important with weight shifting. As I go, say, over to my right here, I want to make sure my upper body is moving over, and then I'm kind of, the lower part, even though my hips are kind of stable here, it's almost like if you imagine somebody pushing your hips, kind of gliding them over to push your weight over this leg. And in response to that, we gotta pull in from that inner thigh. So that's that kind of wheel in that direction. So the lower part's going that way, upper part's coming this way, and we get this kind of like glide, right? So it's kind of like this. So I'm kind of almost rolling over top, but of course I don't want to lean, I want to stay tall, so it's a little more elongated here. So, but I'm kind of guiding this over, and then in response to that, it's going to be the thigh and the hip. So I kind of there. Versus on this side here. So for me, this side's a little bit tighter. So I want to be maybe guiding that one and kind of, again, like the whole upper body, including the pelvis, kind of rolling while my inner thigh and leg and grounding down to the floor are going to help me there. Now that only works better, much better when I keep my weight forward. So that's another wheel kind of in the side profile here. So my chest is going forward and my hip, leg, thigh kind of pulling back. So imagine like that way. So the hip kicks back underneath me and my chest goes forward to leverage my weight over my foot. Imagine like you're gonna sink a shovel and dig into the ground. It doesn't work very well when I'm leaning back and trying to do that. I gotta put my weight up and over. And again, my hip back and chest forward to kind of really drive down through that foot. So I'm going forward here to feel that weight kind of maybe in both feet. And if I want to skew to this side, I'm gonna bring my weight over, right? And even my hip pelvis over, but it's the leg coming that way. So chest forward, hip back, body over, inner thigh, leg coming this way to leverage myself. So, and then at that point, I can continue with that roll as I drive down from the outer hip and lifting up here. But I want to focus on the down to lift up instead of like the scrunch, because that'll actually pull me back over this way and off balance. So you can see that a lot in standing. So I'm here, my inner thigh here is pulling me over my weight, and it's relatively moving in here. And then I'm pushing down here to lift up there, right? But if I just try to lift up here without this part, it's actually gonna pull me over, and then I end up kind of walking like this, right? Which is something that if you're doing that, you probably don't want to be doing that, because it's not a good way to walk. It's not efficient. It kind of beats up your joints. It's just not smooth or easy. It's very inefficient. You'll get tired quickly or painful doing that. So then the other thing is, as we're doing this, kind of being able to kind of rotate through and just kind of flow as kind of side to side. But you can kind of think of a wheel this way, a wheel this way, and then the wheel forward, backward, kind of coming forward over your feet. And as we lift up too, there's wheels this way, kind of that S curve, kind of wheel that way, wheel that way, wheel that way. So there's just a lot of wheels, but the big ones with the weight shift are the side to side and the front back as far as the hip is concerned, because that's taking a lot of that load, and that gives you the leverage to hoist yourself up and gives you a lot of control.